Hello everyone. Good morning. Welcome to Technical Router. Today let us discuss about the arrays. The arrays in Java. Arrays are the collection of multiple values which are logically related. Arrays are the collection of multiple values which are logically related. The arrays are the collection of multiple values which are logically related, called as an arrays. That means we can store and multiple values. We can store and multiple values, but they should be logically related. That means we can store like 10, 20, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can store like this. These are integer type of data, right? These are integer type of data. We can store this kind of data, but we can't store and mixed data like an one or a character A or a boolean true or false or a string. We can't store and combine data. We can store and data that should be an only one. That means a logically related. Okay, we can store an integer type of data, only integer type of data, or and we can store only string type of data. Okay, the collection. We can store lot of string type of data. Okay, we can store ABC, comma, GEF like that. Okay. Those are called as an arrays. They are a collection of multiple values. Arrays means a collection of multiple values which are logically related. They should be logically related. Okay, these are arrays. Now let us see what is syntax. Syntax of array. Syntax of array is data type. Data type followed by a square bracket and variable name. Variable name is a programmer choice. Equals within the braces. Within the braces, we are going to store the array values. Can be an value 1, comma, value 2, comma, value 3, so on. It should be ended with semicolon. So this is the syntax of the array. Data type, square brackets, followed by an variable name equals to, we can store a multiple arrays, okay, multiple values within the braces. Okay, for example, let us see, for example, how to create an array. I told you that for example, let us take a store name ABC, comma, DEF, comma, GHI, comma, GKL. You have to store these values. So these means that these are a string, right? It is not a single character, or it is not an integer, or it is not a float. It is a string. So we are going to take a data type as a string, followed by, see, data type followed by a square brackets. Okay, variable name I'm going to take an as S. Within the braces, we are going to store these A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. So the string means it should be enclosed within the double inverted commas. A, B, C separated by D, E, F, G, H, I, and J, K, L. In this way, we are going to store and values within the array. One more example, we can store and true or false value. For example, store true, false, true. Or let us think we have to store a true, false, true, false. This true or false are a Boolean type of data type, right? This is a Boolean. We can store these data in two ways. We can store these data in two ways. First is a Boolean data type, square brackets, variable name. Within the braces, we have to store these data. Arrays will store the data within braces, right? true, false, true, false, right? Or we can store one more type is, and you can store by using a string. String s1 is equals to string will store the data within the double inverted commas, right? Hmm. In this ways, in these ways, we are going to create an array. See, to store and string values, or we can store an integer type of data type means we are going to use an int I is equals to 137 like this. 9 this like this we are going to store and we're going to create an array. Okay, let us see what are the properties of array. Next is the properties of array. Properties of array. The first property is that arrays are an object. Okay, arrays are object. No, for basically if an array is an object means we are going to store the array in the heap. The objects have been storing in the heap memory. I already explained you that we are going to store the objects in the heap memory and their reference and their object reference we are going to store in the stack, right? So we are going to store this array will be stored in the heap because arrays are an object. Arrays are object. So array will be stored in the heap. The arrays are an object, so they are going to be stored in the heap. This is a first point. The second point is that array element will be stored based on indexing in insertion order. Okay, we are going to store the array based on the index in the indexing order. Okay, in the insertion order we are going to store based on the indexes. That means we are going to create an array. For example, let us take as an int x is equals to 1 2 1 2 4 5 6 1 2 9 4 7 6 5. That we are going to store an arrays of an integer data type. Okay, so internally it will store in this way. It will internally will create an array so the arrays are stored in this way. Okay, the first will be n1 followed by 2 7 6 5. We are going to store an array in this way and it starts from the index 0. Okay, the arrays will start from the index 0 1 2 3 4. The index of an array is going to start from the 0. It is a default. Okay, the array index will be starts from the 0. It is a default. based on the index. Okay, based on the index, it is going to store in the heap memory on the insertion order. Insertion order means the first will go into, the first will 0 will store in the, okay, the first 0 will store, that is an value of, and 1 will be stored, and 2 and 3 and 6 and 5 based on the insertion order. It will go, it is going to first insert into the array, that will be going to store it in the memory. Okay, the first is going to insert, so it will be going to store in the memory, and second and 7 and 6 and 5, in these ways we are going to store the array. This is the second point, second property. Now the third property says that hmm, when you move this, the next property is, the third property is array allowed to perform an index based operation. Array allowed to perform index based operation. Based on the index value, we are going to perform the operation of the array. For example, sorry, I deleted that. Shit. Where is one? We are going to store array based on the insertion order. The first is an 1, 2, 7, 6, 5. Basically, the array by default, the array index starts from 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. This is an array with the indexing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, the array allows and perform an array allows to perform an index-based operation. That means by using an index value, we are going to print the array. Okay. For that syntax, how means is equals to array name, within the square brackets there will be an index name, index or index number. Okay, in this way we are going to retrieve the, perform the operations on the array. That means we are going to print, so that array name is an x, x of 2, x of 3 means you are going to get an output of an 3, that is a 6, right? X of 2 is 3 is an 6, or x of 2, x of 2 is 7. Okay, so based on the index, we are going to perform an operation on the array. Based on the index, we are going to print. Perform is a, we are going to print the value of the array based on the index. Okay, this is a third property. The fourth property says that it is not possible to access the element with non-available index. Okay. Is not possible to access element with non-available index. Now, if we're going to print the value of x of 4. X of 4 means it is going to print, a value of an fourth. Fourth index value is an 5. It is going to print a fourth index value. The fourth index value is an 5. Okay, if you are going to access, if you are going to print We're going to print an x of 6. X of 6, is there any index of 6? No, it is not there. On that time, we are going to get an exception. On that time, we are going to get an exception, that is an array index out of bounds exception. Array index out of bound exception. If you are going to print the value of array which is not available in the index, there is no available of that index, on that time you are going to get an array index out of bound exception you are going to get. So if you are going to retrieve the values on based on the index value, the value which is not there, that index is not there. See, I'm going to take an x of 6. X of 6 means sixth index, not the value. The sixth index, there is no sixth index, there is only an until and fourth index only is there. There is no sixth index. If you are going to retrieve like this means we are going to get an exception, that is an array index out of bounds exception. Okay, it is a fourth property. The fifth property is, for every array by default JVM will give a property called a length. For every array by default JVM will give property called length. Okay, there is a property called an length to retrieve the number of elements of the array. The length, we are going to use this length property to retrieve the number of elements, to get the number of elements of the array. For example, explain in Eclipse only. There is no need. For example, I'm going to take now a character array. Okay, char ch is equals to a b sorry c d e. Okay, I'm going to store a character array with the four. It is a fourth index. Okay, therefore we will be going to store in the fourth index. We have a property called as a length property to print the length of the array. That is a ch dot length. See, it is already inbuilt. Okay, it is already inbuilt. So by using this, we are going to print. I'm going to get a length. Length means not based on the index. The length means how many is there. We're going to get out to 5. See, okay, there is a length property. Okay, so how we are going to calculate the length means, how we are going to calculate the length. Now we have a last index. Okay, last index is equals to array name dot length minus 1, right? Array name is it? What is an array name dot length? What is an length of the array? Minus 1, we're going to get a last index. That means now we're going to get a length means length is equals to last index plus 1. Last index plus 1, we are going to get a length. Okay, last index plus 1, we are going to get a length of the array. This is a fifth property. Now let us see the sixth property. Array elements can be changeable or modified. Array elements can be changed or can be modified. Okay, array elements can be changed or modified. For example, now I have an array here, right? Now I have an array here with the last index is in 4. Now I have to modify the array. Now I have to modify the array means I have to remove this 6 value and I have to add in that 6th place, I have to add an 8. Okay, in this 6th place, I have to remove this 6th value and I have to add in that place, I have to add an 8. I have to add the value of 8 in the place of 6th place. Okay, let us see by using in the Eclipse. Let us see, take one integer array, int x is equals to, no matter the taken, same values I'm going to take there also. 1, 2, 7, 6, 5, right? Yeah, these are the array of an integer data type. Okay, I'm going to print now. First, before that, I'm going to print the value of an 5. If I'm going to print the value of a print 5, I have to print the value of 5 mean I have now, I have to print this way, x of, based on the index value of 5 is 4. Based on the index value, I'm going to print, if I'm to print x of 4 means I'm going to get the value of value 5. Whatever the data is there in the 4th index, I'm going to print out. Now I have to modify. I have to modify in the 6th place, I have to put an 8, right? For that, x of it is in the 3rd index is equals to 8. Okay, 3rd index is equals to 8. Now I have to print. Now I'm going to take that value only, x of 3. So I have to get the value now 8. See, I got the output as an 8 only. That means it has been changed. Now the array has been changed. Now in the 6th place, I am going to, basically x of 3 means the 3rd index. The 3rd index is an 6. I have to get an output as an 6, but I got an output as an 8 because I have modified it. X of 3 have been updated to 8. Okay, I have modified to 8. Okay, this is a 6th property. Okay, the next in this only in one more 2 points. The remove or deletion of the operation will not be possible in the array, and then add to the array is also not possible. Okay, remove or deletion properties or an add to an array is not possible in the array. These are the properties of an array. Okay, these are the properties of array. Let us see one example. Write a Java program to print an array of element. Okay, to print the array of element, I'm going to take an integer array only. Int y is equals to, okay, I have taken an one integer array with a variable as an y. So to print this array, for each and every time we are going to print in this way, right? To print time y of 0, y of 0, and y of 1. To print them each y of 1, 2, 3, 4. In this way, we have to print, right? See, I got the output. In this way, we are going to print, but it is a lengthy process. Same code, we have to write it down again and again, again and again, only index it. Instead of this, we can use a looping statement. To avoid a code duplication, we are going to use a loop statement. Know the starting of the index, we know the end of the index, so we are going to use a for loop. If you know both starting and ending, we are going to use a for loop, right? For int I equals to 0, I is less than or equals to y dot length minus 1. This is, and to find the last index, right? To find the last index, we are going to find an array name dot length minus 1. Okay, comma I plus plus. Within that, we are going to print. It is an y of I. See, I'm going to get an output in these only 100, 500, 700, 900. Let's see. So I got 100, 500, 700, 900. We are going to use a looping statement to avoid an code duplication. Okay. It is an initialization, condition, and increment or decrement. It is starts from the index 0 and then last index means we are going to use an array name dot length minus 1 property to incrementing. We are going to increment 0 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So we are going to use an increment now. To reverse, this, we can also use one more is there. To reverse this, we are going to come from the last index, right? For of int I is equals to y dot length minus 1, right? I is less than or equals to, the I is less than or equals to 0. Now we are going to come from last index to first index. So now we are going to do decrement, not incrementing. We are going to come from last to first. So I'm going to get an output y of I. So I'm going to get an output 999. In next line 700, 500, 100, 111. Okay. In this way, I'm going to get an output. Let's see. See. 999, 700, 500, 100, 111. Okay. In this way, we are going to reverse the array, order of the array. Okay. These are about the array, and I just explained some two basic examples for that. Okay. And you practice some more. There are a lot of questions based on this array. You can practice some more examples. So if you practice by using these logics, you can do pick for medium level programs and a larger programs where will be there. You can do those programs also. Okay. I'm going to end here. Okay, thank you guys.